to another Conduit broadcast. I'm so excited to be here.
I miss y'all.
I miss you too.
Really.
I miss you too.
Been a little bit of, this every 2 weeks. It gives us time to be able to definitely get to talk about topics that we discuss and without actually discussing them.
Right.
We can think about it and make sure we have our stances on it. And it's always good when we can come together because it's a natural feeling, like as far as being able to talk about things and the fact that we are all well versed in being able to speak on each different topics. It feels good because we wait 2 weeks, but
just didn't want to get into the names, huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess we should introduce ourselves. I'm Valencia.
I'm AP.
I'm JBoi.
And they have like a little sexy, I guess, byline. So tell us, does everybody know who you are? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm the sexy one of the group.
Clearly.
I'm not. So he got it. He can have it. I don't want it.
But you got this like heavy set Matthew McConaughey thing.
Here we go.
I call it. It's a beard effect. It's a beard effect.
Y'all liking it. Both you guys have beards, so.
No, I have something. It's definitely not a beard.
So it's a little bit after the beginning of January. Did you guys go to the MLK March here in San Antonio?
Did.
I did. Yes, ma'am. I did. It was actually the first. I had took the past 2 years off. For whatever reason, I don't really know. I don't have an actual answer for it. It just,
because Black Lives Matter.
How did I know that one was coming? I was setting myself up on that one. I did set myself up for that one. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Get our shine on.
Right.
I understand. I get it.
No, I had been going since like high school. It's just, it got to a point where one also like my job wouldn't always let me off.
Right.
But now I was able to get out. This year I actually had an actual reason to be out there more than just marching and going out there having fun, eating good, and seeing a whole bunch of people. I was marching with your brother, and it made me feel good to be back out there again. And I actually did I did the whole 2.3 mile walk. Did it all the way. So it was fun being out there. It was informative, and I actually got to reach out and talk to a lot more people than I normally would have.
I like that. And those people who do go out to the marches across the country, I think it's important for us to remember not to bring your dogs. That drives me crazy. They used to sick dogs on folks back in the day. So
I went by myself this year. I went. Usually I go with my wife. Mm-hmm. So I went with me and my two daughters. And don't go no young kids. When you just got them by yourself.
Were they unruly?
Oh man, my baby, she's 4. She picked me up.
Yes, that is a long walk for baby.
We didn't even walk. We stood, drove to St. Philip's, walked the rest of the way, and she's like, "Oh, my legs hurt. Hurt."
So I can say, it was dope because actually, I saw a whole bunch of people with your T-shirts on. You made those T-shirts 7, 8 years ago?
7 years ago.
About 7 years
I'm
ago.
still waiting on mine. Keep going.
Ooh.
Size a medium?
Small. Honestly, a medium.
So
this is small.
Okay. That might have been a boob joke, but anyways.
Medium, but...
I see it in a lot of people with the hoodies and the T-shirts. So it was really cool. I was like, it was good to see businesses being showcased that are local.
Yeah,
some other shirts out there too, but I'm the Eastside shirt.
Yeah, that. I think anytime somebody sees that shirt, they know who they came from. Like that's like a trademark AP.
I always asked her. Like one of the girls, I was like, "Man, that's a nice hoodie. Where'd you get that from?" She's like, "It's a guy on the East Side. He makes them." Like,
oh, that's cool.
He probably looks like me.
So she didn't even know you. She came from you. That's always dope. Like,
that is dope.
She goes to school with my nephew. She was like, "Oh," and I was like, I always when people see him, they always want them. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
that's what makes me feel good that people still want the shirt. So right now, I'm working on a new.
Okay, I'll look forward to my medium.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Now, speaking of people who make an impact on the local scene and national scene, JBoi has been in the news lately.
He's back again.
Yeah, he's back. Well, he said he never went anywhere. So
I'll say if you listen to him, he ain't gone nowhere.
Right.
And clearly he really hasn't. If he's been able to maintain his wealth.
Absolutely.
And like he said on Everyday Struggle, he said that he's like, I'm the only one from my class that's still here and relevant. Like you've got some of the biggest artists, like they're still bigging me up, and like it was crazy to think about. I sat back and I thought about it. I was like, I didn't like Soulja Boy. Listen, like I never listened to the music. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't for me, and it still ain't for me.
You ain't got to tell us that.
I never one time listened to it.
It's a video right now. You going you.
Ain't never gonna see that. Never will. But I will say, he really did create a whole lane,
a movement. Yes.
And like, I mean, you got to figure. He was the first one, like he said on YouTube, like really getting that YouTube money.
That's
like,
right.
He said on Everyday Show. I personally didn't get a chance to actually verify the facts on it, but he said that YouTube told him that he was the first hip hop artist on YouTube.
I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, because he came out really early on the scene, and he was saying when he was on MySpace and Facebook, and he was doing that, a lot of the artists used to come down hard on him. Yeah. But he, according to him, opened those doors for all the artists.
That's when Nas made Hip Hop Is Dead.
Right.
So and it was based on like the whole Soulja Boy experience and all all that music and all that whole little era. So
I think with Soulja Boy, because I was actually incarcerated when he first came out. And that crank that was huge. Like, and I remember seeing him on Ellen. So, and I'm not saying that anybody gets on Ellen is, that certifies you as big, but
that's pretty big. Yeah, no, that's big.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't just like nobody's just getting invited to Ellen and just to be invited to Ellen.
Anybody ain't getting on Ellen. And,
that's exactly right.
So that opens you up to a whole new crowd.
Yeah.
So when
and I think that's why Kevin Hart did recently. Like he went on to Ellen.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Dealing with the whole
Oscars.
Yeah. So once that it's just like, I mean, Chance the Rapper. That's really my first time seeing Chance the Rapper was on the Ellen show. Yeah. So it's like more and more people start paying attention to him.
Right.
And then I mean, like I said on one of the posts, he performed at the BET Awards, and I remember he came out on the bed, and everybody went crazy. Like that's. Yeah. Like the Migos performed Bad and Bougie, and it didn't get the same response. Right. But when he did that, hopped up out of bed, turned my LeBron and all them.
Yeah.
Like I mean, hey, now he got a mural in San Antonio.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen Tyrone Dart, and you both y'all went and took pictures of it.
He went. I used his picture.
Yeah.
Well, you got
it was crazy to see that. It was also Supreme Sports Bar and Grill or something like that over off of San Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one cool thing that Soulja Boy's doing, and he's kind of building himself as the innovator when it comes to hip hop and stuff like that, is coming out with those consoles.
Yeah.
Now he was saying that it's nothing new. The console is nothing new, and that's what I think the academics was kind of getting down on him about that. He's like, it's not like I'm trying to reinvent something. I'm trying to allow people who can't afford a $500, $600, $400 PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. They can afford this. It has 800 games on it and Fortnite and all this other stuff.
And they were trying to say because he about the whole copyright thing or whatever, and he's like because it's actually an emulator, so it's not the actual system themselves. It's not the actual games. It's an emulator, which they've been selling emulators for years.
That's right.
Like they've been selling these preloaded systems that you can just plug straight into your TV and you have access.
That's right.
Of course, it doesn't have 800 games.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still
you had
one
at the house. I got a Pac-Man one at the house.
Yeah, there you go. So, I have one too.
Yeah, I've got a Galaga one.
Yeah,
Galaga.
That's what I'm talking
Anybody want to see me on Galaga? Come holler at me. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
But about 8 games on there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool to see he wants to get back to the people.
That's right.
And that's what he said. He's like, not everybody can afford it. Like
that's
you said,
exactly
he can't afford it. And they were talking about him. They were like, well, you were taking Cash App, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I took it as basically everybody pays me $1. Right. I'm going to randomly scroll through this list of people that paid me $1 and I'm going to send y'all one for free.
Yeah.
Because maybe, say $100 ain't for everybody.
That's right.
So he was telling him, he was like, look, I was taking all the money from the Cash App and putting it towards purchasing ones and sending them out for free. He's like, I've got the receipts showing that I sent these things out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then one thing that irked me was Nadeska when she actually told him, she said, why do you have so many businesses?
Yeah, that was simple. That was real simple.
I was like, they say the average millionaire has 7 forms of income.
That's exactly
And she's like,
right.
well, you can't be everywhere. Generally, millionaires are investors
That's
that
exactly
put money
right.
into a business and it operates itself. And
Right.
I get my kickback on the back end.
Yeah.
So no, you're not there on a daily basis.
You're going to take some losses.
You're going to take some losses. I mean, everybody took losses.
That's exactly right. Well, you
have
hire
to take
people.
a chance.
Yeah, you have people working for you that can run the business. That's how it is to be a Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand that. You don't have to own just one. You ask anyone who has a lot of money, they do have money in different pockets. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Everybody loves Master P, but they never talk about that failed sports agency.
Yeah.
Messed off Ricky Williams' career.
Right.
For real. So, I mean, you really got to look at, I mean, when you're talking about Soulja Boy, he made some smart investments early on. I mean, he bought Yums. That was his first big investment. A company out of Dallas, Texas, a shoe company. It had blown up all throughout the South real quick. And then he took it to a whole other level and really made it big. That, I mean, it was cool because I actually knew Tex back in the day, like the dude that owned Yums. I met him with working with all the local artists because he did a lot of work with a lot of local artists. I met him through Big Rob.
How many Yums you had?
I had every colorway. When he came out here, he went to the spot off of Military. I don't remember the store, Southside Connection. I want to say what the store was called.
Record Connection.
Huh?
Is it Record Connection?
I don't remember which one. It was a long time ago, but he went out there and he had like did the official release or whatever. And I had met him through Big Rod the Rhino, who had his own sneaker with him, and I had helped him get the network down here, got him in a couple stores out here, and so he gave like when they dropped all the colorways. He brought a shipment and brought me a box and they had every single one of them. So I was like, hey, free. Yeah, I'm a big sneakerhead, so getting free sneakers, I'm never gonna say no.
Yeah,
so I mean, what you do with all your Yums?
Man, still wearing them.
Yeah, Goodwill.
I ain't gonna lie to you. After that whole little style went away, I gave them away. So I gave them away. It's not like I sold them.
So homeless guy right now some Yums on.
Now we're gonna switch gears and talk a little bit about something that's pretty controversial. It is sexually explicit.
Yeah.
So if it's a trigger for you or you feel uncomfortable, I would suggest just going fast forwarding through this little part, but we're gonna talk about R. Kelly.
Okay.
So R. Kelly, as you guys know, there's a docuseries that came out on Lifetime, and it was called Surviving R. Kelly, and it's been top of the news for some time now. So I want to see how you guys feel about that. Now, this is nothing in my experience coming from the radio side as shocking. Back in the day, I remember Aaliyah coming to 96.1, the old 96.1. And I didn't get a chance to talk to her because I was an intern. But that's our walk to her car. I was like, oh my God, Aaliyah. But at that time, she was actually, all that R. Kelly stuff had just went by.
Yeah.
So she had married R. Kelly, and it's not allegedly, married R. Kelly when she was 15. So how do you guys feel about this? Do you think that that men in the industry, just because they're stars, get away with this kind of stuff, talking to young girls, or do you think it's socially acceptable?
Well, the young girl thing is just sickening, first and foremost.
Okay.
That's just, I mean, it's just completely like there's nothing you can say or do if you're talking to a child. Like, I mean, it goes back even with other artists that have talked to little girls and impregnated them. R. Kelly, like the whole R. Kelly thing annoys me. I mean, I will say, like, because I mean, talking 6ix9ine, right? He had his little case or whatever, but he knew the girl from high school. Mm-hmm. And this brings up a thing, like, I mean, the whole dudes, like, is there an age group, to like what can talk? I feel like if you're in high school together, like the whole 6ix9ine thing, if you're in high school and you graduate, but you were already talking to somebody else in high school, like y'all know each other, like before all that instance. Because I know some dudes that, I mean, and it happens. Like, like if you're in high school, you're a senior and you talk to a freshman, I mean, in nowadays and age, I mean, 3-4 years is usual. Right. So, I mean, if y'all are attracted in high school like that. So, I mean, so if you're a senior and you like a freshman and y'all are talking before you graduate and all that, and you go off and then you come back, but you're still with her and talking, I can understand that.
Right.
Now, in R. Kelly's case, him wanting to go to schools, going to malls, going to places that kids are there.
Right.
That's a mental thing. That's a sickness. And that's just repulsive to me.
And I think a lot has to do with the people around him, because one of his security guards in the docuseries mentioned that he's the one who
forged the paperwork.
Yeah, forged paperwork on Aaliyah and his marriage certificate. So what he did is he put down that she was 18 when she was actually 15. And then R. Kelly, in turn, came back saying that he didn't know how old she was, but there's old interviews showing that what her age is.
Yeah.
Then, of course, he denied all sexual contact and stuff with Aaliyah. So what I did is I looked at this old interview at 106 in Park, and they showed a clip of it in the docuseries, but I watched the whole clip. And in the clip, Crazy Legs, I think that's her name, was asking R. Kelly and Aaliyah. Big Legs, thank you. Yeah, but Crazy Legs was another dancer.
Yeah, it was a dude.
Yeah, it was a guy. That's exactly right, because he was on Coming to America.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she was asking R. Kelly and Aaliyah, what's your relationship? People think you guys are cousins, or are y'all boyfriend and girlfriend?
They were wearing matching outfits on that one, right?
Right. And then Aaliyah said, well, he's my best friend. She's 15, he's 28. Think about it that way. But more importantly, she said, he said something like, yeah, she makes me want to go buy a white Jeep. Now think about this. You remind me of my Jeep. I want to ride it. Think about that.
Oh, nice voice.
Mariah Carey. No, but I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And you know what? No one caught it. She started laughing like, But I saw the interview, never caught it until I went back and watched it.
And a lot of it comes back because at that time we weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like you weren't thinking like it's...
Well, and the reason why you weren't thinking about it because it wasn't a big deal as it is now. It basically got swept under the rug, which, not saying it should, but it's to be expected. Yeah. You have a rising star, and you have a star already, and you have people that want to see these people succeed.
Yeah.
So, like anything, people cover things up. And I told people, that there's no way that she was able to marry R. Kelly without parents' consent.
And that's sickening.
Her being underage. So if they saying somebody forged the documents, then I can understand. But it's a couple of things that I look at, and we see celebrities, and we hold them high, not knowing their backstory, not knowing their mental state, not knowing anything about them, expecting them to have a certain mentality to do certain things. Right. But truth be told, man, these people might have been nothing.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Might have been doing those exact same things, broke.
Yeah.
And now that they, you know what I'm saying?
But you're right.
And now they have money, so they're able to do more of it, or not even the fact they're doing it, that some men are naturally awkward with women.
Yeah.
So and now you got this money, and you don't know how to interact with women, so you do whatever. And it's not an excuse for R. Kelly. It's just the fact that, what's the group name? I can't even think of the name of the group, but somebody was just talking about it recently. But it was a guy. They had a song. He was saying, he was 16 and the girl was 25. They sing the song. I can't think of it right now. But I want to say it's Ready for the World. But anyways, it was a lot of songs like that. You think about Belle Biv DeVoe, Backstage, Underage, Adolescence, How You Doing? It was like lyrics now that you
go
think
back and
about,
question. It's like
you kind of question. And I don't think I think that people probably just didn't.
I think we accepted it. We knew that it was wrong, but we accepted it and swept it under the rug because we were a fan of R. Kelly's music. And actually, we've got to do better. Yeah. Because we could have stopped all this. We being every single one of us who was loving those songs back in the day. All that stuff could have stopped when R. Kelly came out peeing on that girl. Yeah. And then,
after that, they made one of their best albums.
Yeah, and it was 100% R. Kelly. I don't care what anyone says.
I never actually saw it.
You haven't? I saw it.
I used to watch it all the time. But people want to see it, and I had to tape. So,
okay.
All right. How you worded that? I was like,
did you see me on?
People, I had to tape. It was a VHS.
Right.
There wasn't no DVDs back then. We had the VHS, and people always want to see it.
So in your opinion, was it R. Kelly? Because he came out and said it was his brother.
It looked like R. Kelly.
Looked like R. Kelly too.
I never even know he had a brother.
Yeah, he got two brothers. One's in lockdown.
They were saying that the guy was his brother.
What guy?
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
separate. What I gotta do. I can't think his name right now.
I don't know. That's
he's from Chicago too.
Yeah.
He's from Chicago too.
Separated.
Avant.
Avant.
They were saying Avant was his brother for
no, Avant's definitely not his brother.
And he kind of favor R. Kelly. But yeah, I seen the tape, and I was young then. We would laugh about it because like when he was having sex with one of the girls in the office, he faked the nut. It was like,
yeah.
Well,
maybe because she was of age.
Yeah.
But
I think they say that girl's underage too. I think that's the girl he supposedly met at McDonald's like at the prom or something like that.
That's horrible.
But
it's just horrible.
It ain't even just R. Kelly. But R. Kelly is a topic of discussion.
Right.
Russell Simmons is accused of rape. And since they came out with, like, I think he got about 6 allegations against him.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying that, that he was dating Kamora Simmons when she was 16.
Right. And I actually heard about that. Forgot about that.
And I mean, and he's not.
And he's older.
Obviously, they say Paul Walker had a history from Fast and Furious of dating younger females.
Well, that's because you can mold them. And I mean, honestly, I was a younger female. We do silly stuff. You can be easily molded and manipulated when you're looking at these stars as though they're going to change your life. And, ooh, I'm dating R. Kelly or I'm with Paul Walker or whomever. But I think with the R. Kelly thing, even now, I was talking to a gentleman. I'm not going to say his name, but I was talking to a gentleman. And he's from Chicago. And I said, hey, what do you think about the R. Kelly stuff? He's like, man, I love R. Kelly as an artist. But, man, that stuff he did with those girls was wrong. I said, will you listen to R. Kelly music? He was like, yeah, I could separate it. I'm like, so you could sit there and listen to a song that's about riding in your Jeep and you know that he made that after Aaliyah, or listen to another song and knowing he's writing these songs based on him sexually molesting and raping these young girls or manipulating them into thinking there's a relationship. When you listen to those songs, can you separate them? Can you listen to R. Kelly now?
I definitely can, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's like one of those things where it's a habit for me. If R. Kelly came on in the club, I've been trying to imagine this, like, if they played R. Kelly in the club with somebody just stop what they doing, like, I don't want to hear this. Because I was recently performed at a wedding. I hosted a wedding reception. And I was like, hey, DJ, play. This is before all this came out, but I was like, hey, play Slow Dance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And everybody came on the dance floor. Like they wouldn't even dance before that.
It's
like,
a good song.
You're so used to that music.
But it's top of mind now. Erykah Badu went up on stage and they were booing her for bringing up the R. Kelly. I think now people, especially when you see those victims, did you guys have a chance to look at the docuseries yet?
I have. I've seen the first 3.
Okay, so I challenge you guys to watch that because when you see the girls and the ladies now and they're talking about it and they're shaking and they're crying.
It's a different sense.
Yeah, her name is Faith. Yeah.
Her mom must have been friend request on Facebook.
Well, you should have took it.
I did. I didn't even know.
You're married,
seen her posting
her
stuff.
mom's probably cute too because Faith is beautiful. Yeah. But I think when you see those people who are allegedly victimized, it changes everything. Yeah. I was a big R. Kelly fan. But after this, I mean, even I Believe I Can Fly, man, I'm just like, oh,
it sucks at knowing that he wrote some very
amazing.
He wrote a lot of songs.
But a lot about bumping and grinding. That's one of them. But he's talking about not bumping and grinding with a legal person. Yeah. He's talking about bumping and grinding with a 13-year-old.
I mean, my boss was playing You Must Be Used to Be Spending. And I'm just like, like it's so many songs out there. Like Celine Dion and a couple people took their songs down, but for the most part, I mean, his catalog, not even his catalog of the songs that he wrote.
Yeah,
ridiculous. So ridiculously long. It's like, and even if again, you may not be hearing him singing, but you may hear a song that he influenced because he wrote the song.
I guess the hard thing for me is, I think a lot of times we don't personalize. We lack empathy.
Yeah.
I think we lack empathy. If it were, and I pray this doesn't happen to any one of you guys or any one of us, but if it was your child.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know that he was. There was one girl who said that he was in the booth having sex with one girl while he was recording one of those songs. Then he was having sex with a child, a 15. Recording one of those top songs. I think that I think we would see it differently.
And this is the thing. Like I had this actual conversation with a DJ here in San Antonio, and he actually tried to sit there and say he's like, I can't. Like he's like, I'm still gonna spin his music. He's like, it's a requirement. I'm like, there's so much. Exactly, and that's exactly what I said.
I've been in the club.
I said, look, I was like,
but what song? Be honest with yourself. Besides "Step in the Name of Love,"
what song? And that's what I tried to tell him. I was like, other than "Step in the Name of Love," I was like, what song is relevant enough to where you can actually feel that you have to use it?
Right.
I was like, and there's
slow dance.
Yeah, slow dance is good, but it's not like you're gonna stomp out the club like someone stole your bicycle if you don't.
And that's the thing about it is, R. Kelly, as big as his catalog is, right now, depends on what environment you're in. You probably won't even hear an R. Kelly song. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're in an older spot with older people, you'll probably hear "Step in the Name of Love," "Slow Dance," or something like that.
But look at what's his name, Will Smith, when he celebrated his whatever birthday, the 50th, and he did the bungee jump.
Yeah,
you know that when they redid it, I Believe I Can Fly was on that.
Yeah.
And Jada Pinkett Smith on her Red Table Talk actually had one of the victims there. I can't remember her name. I just talked to her and she started crying. Yeah, and apologized to her because, again, we just swept it under the table. Yeah. We knew half this stuff was going on. But I think we failed.
But let's
our
take
kids.
us out of it. Let's take us as fans. Let's look at the people who was directly around him, directly had influence, and anybody who say, I seen something.
Yeah.
Now, just us being who we are.
Right.
And IQ is sitting here with a chick. And she's playing on a pink tablet, and we. Yeah.
Hey, it's a pink tablet.
Oh man, this little chick I met at the mall. I mean, I don't think we're gonna be like,
oh, okay,
no. We're taking this room right.
But we're not paying everybody. See, that's the difference. So, R. Kelly had power over his staff, who he employed to go get those girls. He was,
but not even just his staff, like several people, artists and people have said, I seen,
Sparkle. Sparkle said it.
But she was R. Kelly's artist. Like, he had so much power.
Nas.
But think
Nas
about
accused Jay-Z of participating in some of that. I don't know if he just said it because of the beef or whatever, but he was like, whatever he said, they like brought it back up recently, and it's like, and I don't know if he.
But I know Nick Cannon tried to be funny with it, with talking to Dame Dash.
But a lot of those people said that they seen him with young girls, and they just turned a blind eye.
You talking about R. Kelly or Jay-Z?
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly.
Now, look at it like this. Maybe some of them girls wasn't young; they just look young. Because my wife looks young. I remember the first time my mama seen my wife, she was laying in the bed. She called me out and she said, "Was that young girl in your bed?" Wow. And I said, "Ebony, she's 4 years younger than me." I can show you a picture. She looks very young.
Yeah, she looks.
So I mean, not say he don't like young girls, but he even just might like young looking girls too. Yeah. That may be of age, just young looking.
Well, then his staff should be checking their IDs. Yeah. He's not going to high schools looking for a young.
He's going to malls.
Yeah, he's going.
I mean, even the one girl from the music video. I don't remember what music video it was. She's like, I was the youngest one, clearly the youngest one at the video shoot, and she's like, he came to me, and he had his people come get me and says, R. Kelly wants you to come to be him.
So that's the thing. His MO, I guess, was he would send the bodyguards over.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
To a 14-year-old girl, and they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, didn't they say that Sparkle's niece?
Yeah.
Her father was his guitarist.
Yes.
Her father was in his band that entire
Sparkle
time.
said that she.
That's right.
She got all the family involved. Tried to get as much of the family involved. So she had. But again, think about this. She said it wasn't her. Her mom said it wasn't.
Yeah, but
I don't even think that. I don't think that was money. I think that was more about.
Embarrassment.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I think that I agree with Sparkle because in the docuseries, Sparkle said, I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel that R. Kelly paid my sister and them off.
He could have, but DJ Envy said something important when he said that if they would have came out, that everybody would know who she is. Like right now,
nobody knows who she is.
Yeah.
So she can live a life.
Yeah.
My point is he's in the band today.
Yeah.
The band is still with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is
money. Yeah.
Concerning R. Kelly, people do have pick and chose who they wanted to expose or blast or whatever the case may be. Just switch up real quick. Superhead. If y'all know anything about Superhead was young when she was doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
She was messing with Cool G Rap when she was like 16 years old.
She was very young. Yeah.
But nobody, because she came out telling about all these sexual exploits that she did, people just looked at it as a hoe.
Yeah.
Instead of this young girl, young girl who was being victimized because she was abused by Cool G Rap and basically abandoned. Yeah. And then everybody else just
had their way with it.
They had their way with it. But again, we like and when I say we are just talking about society, we like to pick and choose who we attack. Right. And R. Kelly has been getting attacked for years. Not saying that he's not guilty of anything, but it's easy to jump on that R. Kelly band. Dateline put out a little special right after the series. And I think now, remember back in the day, the news was whoever got it first. Right. Or other than that, you probably wouldn't even hear about it. Exactly. Now it's because things trending, people that keep on, we got to do an interview, we got to do a story. Because it's going to keep on going, it's going to keep on going, it's going to keep on going.
Well, I think they should. I mean, the bottom line for me is this. If you're doing bad things, what do they say? All things done in the dark shall come to light. You're doing bad things. I don't care if it takes 30 years. You should get in trouble for messing with a little girl. Yeah. Period. I don't care if it's the trend in the industry. I remember I dated this guy who could not sing, but I liked him. So I was in the studio with him. Sorry.
Was he from San Antonio? I could name some.
He's not from San Antonio, but he did live here. And I bet you he's sitting there like, yeah, you're right. I can't sing.
Oh, he just got mad.
Oh, yeah, he got mad. He got mad, but he can't sing. He didn't even know what harmony means. Okay. So anyways, I was dating this fool. We're in the studio, and there was this young lady. She's successful, so I won't say her name. But at the time, she was really young.
Text it to us.
And I was like, are y'all trying to holler at this girl? Some other guys. And they were like, man, she's been, she ain't that young. Because she's been around. I'm like, she's still 14 or 15. So the behavior in the studio is, I get it. A lot of guys want to date these young girls for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is. It is rampant. I stood up for the girl, but how many people turn a blind eye? I just think it's actually unforgivable. And I also believe that those bodyguards and everybody and the staff that was around R. Kelly, 100%. They should spend the time in jail with R. Kelly. Yep. They really should.
Especially like the ones that if the bodyguards that went and they're admitting that they went to go get those numbers.
Ridiculous.
Because you're just as big of a sexual predator as R. Kelly was.
And they said that some of the guys would sit there and it was on the documentary. Watch the sex tapes.
They probably had sex with them too.
Watch the sex tapes knowing that these girls
are
14 or 15. I just can't.
That's my only issue.
I mean, the dude walked or carried a bag full of these videos.
My only issue is that is with all this, do people care? And we care right now. And I
because
say we
it's the end thing.
That's why I say because things trend. People care at the moment, but at the end of the day, what is going to be the end result of people coming out with this information, people putting out these stories and stuff like that? Like, do you really care? Because if you don't care, then nothing's going to get done.
Well, it goes back to, for one, is how you were raised. If you were raised right, you're going to let it go. Yeah. You ain't going to be supporting all this. But I think a lot of times if you're a follower, you might just follow the trend. But if you're a thinker, then you will stand your ground and you'll do the right thing and not support these artists that are trolling kindergartens and picking up children. And shame on you for doing it. Yeah. And shame on those of you guys who are supporting it. I think it's ridiculous. And the only time I see sometimes in America that it means something is if it happens to you or your cousin.
Exactly.
Like, damn it, have some, I don't know, just do better. Do better.
I mean, and this goes not just going away from R. Kelly, but recently there was a girl, she was on social media. Mm-hmm. She was on Facebook Live. Her name's Jasmine Elan in Atlanta. She was on Facebook Live in a club And while she's on live, a guy comes up to her or whatever. It looks like maybe he asked her if she wants a drink or whatever. He disappears. He comes back and gives her a drink. While on Facebook Live, you can sit there and watch her demeanor just completely go out. Like, she's just done. Like, she's completely oblivious to whatever's going on. And within a few moments, she's getting raped in the club. Like, within a few minutes, you can see like she's getting carried. She's screaming, saying, not screaming, but she's saying
definitely saying help me.
She's definitely saying help me. And like, I mean, you can see like there's clips like where her titties pop out. It shows she's not wearing no underwear. And there's parts of times where you can actually see it. And next thing you know, you just hear her getting like raped in the middle of the club. Now it's a huge club, but it's still the fact that you're around other people.
Right.
And people, like, you can't help but see a girl getting carried.
Right.
Like, a limp body's a limp body.
Right.
And I don't know. It's sickening that, like, there was that many people around her.
And that's what goes back to when I say people caring.
Yeah.
Usually I don't even watch videos, man. I'm so skeptical about what I watch on social media because I have a soul to protect.
Yeah.
So I don't, man, people be posting people getting killed now.
Yes, I don't watch that either.
So it's hard for me to even look at that. So, but this was attached to a website.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that, they're just going to have like a story.
Talk about it.
Right.
So my dumb self, I clicked on this video and I don't even know how many minutes in of her Facebook Live. And you don't see like what I see, you just see him behind her.
Yeah.
And she's like, saying, help me. And like, it almost broke me down. Like I had to turn it off. And my wife was like, what's wrong? And I just held her for a long time and I told her what was going on. And I've been following the story because it's a lady on YouTube who was posting interviews and things of that nature. She was talking about it. And so much is surrounding this. They were saying that she said she wasn't raped. Then they were saying that she was doing this to get back at her. But then when the other video surfaced, it was kind of like something happened.
Okay, so that's my question. Unfortunately, I had a situation where my son was sick, so I wasn't up on this story. But you were saying earlier, prior to us taping, that there was, I guess one of her friends or somebody was videotaping it?
Yeah, it's like, I want to say like 3-4 different videos.
Yeah, several. Yeah,
this says.
So there's other people in the club that had videotaped this.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So
and that's the thing, like, you can tell the body's limp.
Yeah,
like, you can tell
I think what happened is prior to this, she was in a twerk contest.
Yeah.
So she was up there, bouncing her ass.
It was her birthday.
Yeah, she ain't got no panties on.
Okay.
So they probably and I had a live video where I was talking about how to protect our kids, and I said we have to take away the whole narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
Because somebody is, you look at them a certain way,
right,
and in your mind you thinking, that what you expect. You say, well, if you dress like that, then
you deserve that kind of silliness.
You have to take that narrative away and see it for what it is.
Right.
Just because a person is dressed a certain way, just because they're doing certain things, doesn't mean they want this to happen.
That's
or they
right.
allow it to happen.
Yeah, you can violate me because I'm acting silly or doing whatever. That's not right.
If a person can honestly say, I didn't know what was going on, I just thought they was having sex.
Right.
But even still, this is not something that's normal.
Right.
You know what I'm
saying? And
saying?
you said her body was limp.
Yeah, so somebody should have been like, hey,
what you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Now, if anything, like security.
Yeah, then
I agree.
And she says, I'm all right, or whatever the case may be.
But she's saying
different.
help.
Yeah.
Somebody help me.
Because then you know what's going on, but then other than that, you just stand there watching. It's just like watching somebody pull out a gun and
Well, he didn't shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
He just pulled out. He didn't shoot. But
I seen him pull out a gun earlier, and then 5 minutes in the
kills
bed.
everybody. Yeah. Well, I always mess up this quote, but this is one of my favorite things to say. Martin Luther King has a quote where it says, "It's not the thing you will remember in the end. It's not the actions of my enemies. It's the silence of my friends." And look at her friends videotaping this whole situation and then posting it.
Yeah.
I think all of them, going back to the R. Kelly thing, they should all do jail time. Because you could track that back to their phones. At one time, you have to have empathy. I get the video thing.
Yeah.
Tape someone tripping. It's funny.
Yeah.
But someone getting raped, violated, that kind of stuff.
And you're not assisting?
And grow up.
I don't know if he knew
up.
that she was on Facebook Live. or not, but he definitely is one bold fella. And I mean, he exposed his hand by coming out and doing an interview with a blogger, so everybody know who it is. You know, his name is Dominic Williams, and he was saying that she was drunk, and she was like all over the place. So he took her to sit down, and she wanted to get back up and start dancing again. So he went on the dance floor. He was like, I was just holding her up. He's like, I'm 6'4". He was like, saying, oh, he's pretty well endowed. He was like, and she's small. He was like, if I was having sex with her, you would know or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this is to me, this is the problem with social media. Everybody wants to get on social media and go to the police.
Yeah.
Or in his case, you should have stayed. You
should have just been incognito and
people
just been quiet.
We've been looking at sketchy videos like, who is this dude? Yeah. But now everybody know your name. They know who you are. You know, so
that's an admission of guilt. You know that, right?
You place yourself
in the as a.
So not saying that I want him to get out, but it's like, bro, you obviously didn't want to get away with this.
Yeah. Clearly.
And people are saying that he's a serial. Like, I don't know if they're assuming this, but that's one of the stories that he's a serial rapist, a club rapist.
Well, now everyone knows what he looks like.
Yeah. They definitely know your name.
Yeah.
So,
that's just silliness at the end of the day.
Now, I mean, what the situation overseas with Chris Brown?
Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to bring up. So what do you think about that?
I mean, that one's touchy because, I mean, she came out and said that Chris wasn't actually the one that raped her.
Right.
But, I mean, she's saying that
she raped nobody.
Yeah. But she said she's saying she willingly went back to the room.
Right.
But she's saying at that point is when the bigger gentleman manhandled her and took her and they raped her. But she's trying to get, like she was trying to say, because he provided the alcohol, he provided the drugs.
Right. That
he's as guilty as
by association.
By association. Basically. That one to me is sketchy.
It's very sketchy.
Because Chris Brown's notorious for women.
Right. For beating women.
For beating women. And
right.
He's notorious for partying.
Right.
He loves women, so you're going back to his hotel room.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's right, but I don't know what was led up to that situation.
I think it's sketchy. I think it's sketchy, but the most important twist, well, first of all, if it did happen to her, I really wish her the best. I really do. But what I'm thinking, more importantly, is Chris Brown. You got to do things better. You got to get a good PR person behind you that's going to teach you how to do things properly.
You need that paperwork.
Yeah, and you got to lock
check IDs.
Everything down.
Sign this.
Like, you got to have them NDAs.
Man, bottom line, Chris Brown, you need to just be by yourself. Like when you're going overseas, you don't, especially in Italy. Yeah. Remember all that junk?
They don't
Italy, and you can't. Those laws and stuff are completely different from America.
I don't even think it's a Chris Brown thing. I think it's a celebrity thing. And the thing about it is that being a celebrity, having money, people know who you are. You're going to be a target.
Yeah.
Somebody's looking for you to bump into them to say, "Oh, he hurt me," so they get some money.
That's true.
A female's looking to have sex with you just to say, "I had sex with so and so and so and so." Man, I had nothing to do with money, anything. Just say they did it.
Yeah.
Because clout chasing has become a career.
Yeah,
I agree.
So just the story, just to be in the limelight, and then some people are just needy for attention.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about how you react to things, what things that you do, where you go, who you interact with. But again, it doesn't make a difference how handsome somebody is, how we view them. Women are women, and men are men, and you feel like, hey, I can get away with it over here. Not the rape, but having sex with this random person
exactly.
that nobody will know about. And next thing you know, and again, going back to Tupac, Tupac didn't, from my understanding, he didn't rape this woman.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't the story she originally told. She said that his friends came in there and they did, and he basically let it happen. Tupac said he was asleep. This woman ended up coming on Vlad TV, but Tupac still ended up getting convicted of this.
Right.
And being sent to prison. I don't want to tell somebody, oh, well, you knew what you was going to do. Or you go to a man's motel. It doesn't mean that, but let's be honest with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially me, I've had sex with 2 or 3 women in my lifetime.
Right.
And I'm pretty popular. You know,
Are you
I'm
really?
pretty, I'm pretty before Facebook. I'm pretty popular. A lot of the females don't care about how long they've been knowing you. They don't care about if you got a girlfriend or a wife,
right?
Or if there's somebody in the next room or whatever. If you have any type of status and they want to mess with you, then they gonna do. I know girls who would knock down. When I say all of us, I literally mean all of us. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Just because, hey, my homeboy right there, they ain't thinking about it.
Yeah. No,
so
I've seen it.
You have to be honest about your intentions.
Right.
A man has to be honest about his intentions, and a woman has to be honest about her intentions.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I get that. What I mean about the Chris Brown thing is, I mean, he's a target right now. I mean, all celebrities are, but especially him with the Rihanna stuff.
Yeah.
They want to take him down. He beat the case last year. I mean, of course, still pending, but he more or less beat it.
Case?
Okay, remember where there was a girl who went to his home and she was saying that she had been raped or something, and he was like, "No, I was asleep in my bedroom," and it came out that she there was text messages with her homegirl that she could try to set him up.
Exactly.
So it was a setup. It was a setup. So that kind of fizzled out and got out of the limelight. But they're going to try to take him down just based on all that.
The Rihanna thing comes up every opportunity. That
any situation Chris Brown gets involved in, that first thing is going to be, well, you know, he beat Rihanna.
Yeah, well, that's
we don't know why he beat Rihanna.
Yeah, and Rihanna even said in the interview, she said back together. Rihanna did say she threw the first punch.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not saying it was right, but the first person to be aggressive in the fight, Rihanna said it was her.
Well, and my dad taught me that a long time ago. Like, whatever you dish out, you be ready, because you might be strong in the mind, but he's strong in strength. You got to be smart.
If you know anything about, if you're a Chris Brown fan, if you see any like old footage of Chris Brown, like you know when he was coming up and stuff like that, Chris Brown was already can be aggressive. You know, showed aggressive behavior.
Exactly.
One time there was a situation with his mom, and he like went off. You know,
like a spoiled kid, or went off in what way?
Like don't mess with my mama. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, you know, I mean, like a lot of people, he could get upset about things.
But remember, he grew up in a household where his mom had his stepfather used to beat the mom, and I saw in some interview that Chris Brown would say that he would be so scared when his stepfather would come in that he would almost urinate on himself. Yeah. So, you know, it's a learned behavior, not justifying it. He was wrong. You got to know right from wrong. He's a grown blank man. He's got to grow up. Yeah. And I don't care if a woman's hitting on you or whatever. Stop the car and get the hell out. Yeah. And don't talk to that B again. But, you know, I don't think it's right to be swinging on some girl.
And it's easy to say that, but if you're not taught that, because I believe in teaching. Like if you haven't been taught that, people get this money, they get this success, and they aren't taught anything.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh man, I told them." Man, you can tell somebody, "Hey man, don't." And people told all the time, be careful about who you have sex with.
Right.
Next thing you know, some girl comes out, "Oh, I got a baby by so and so." It's like, you got a baby by her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got a homeboy that he's got, like, you look at like
now she ain't got to work no more.
Yeah, she's like, gotcha.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's just like.
And that goes back to the stepdad. If he was brought up around a situation where he saw his mom getting beat all the time, then that could be his natural reaction. And he may not have the foresight to think through things.
Yeah, that money definitely clouds people's judgment. Locally, you know, we've been having a situation, and I know that it's been a big thing on Facebook, and it actually goes back to the R. Kelly thing. At my alma mater. Did I say it right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Stephanie. So go ahead.
That's a good education there.
Went on my dictionary.com, you know what I'm saying? Sam Houston High School, the athletic coordinator. I don't know if he's just at the...
Shout out to Sam. I'm a Judson kid, but I was over at Sam.
You know me. Who's proud of being a Judson? Right?
Hey, man.
Everybody.
Hey, man. Hold on. There's 2 of us over here.
Everybody.
They should put a statue of me in front of Judson, because I definitely made my mark there.
Oh,
shout out to the ladies.
That's hilarious.
And Roosevelt, too. But I don't know if he's the athletic director of all the athletes, you know what I'm saying, or just the females. Well, anyways, there's reports that an athletic director was placed on leave for inappropriate communication with 2 female students. And, at the time, they just had a teacher at the time. So when it came out, then all these other allegations came out that he had been having sex with students dating back to when he was in middle school. Apparently, when he was a sub at Sam, was accused of this, and they removed him and sent him to BRAC. And somehow he ended up coming back to Sam as a athletic coordinator. And I mean, they say that 21 girls have came forward so far. Right now, they're doing an investigation, so nothing specifically has come out. But on Facebook, like, they are dragging this man through the mud, through the ringer, like, yeah, he did to me, or I know this person, or he did to this person. He supposedly did this, and he recently resigned. But it definitely has, keeping the conversation going, because it was R. Kelly, and it was basically this, and then and it's kind of, for me, it's not a hard thing as far as when it comes to, because I'll tell people, don't say if you have kids, period, you should be compassionate.
Right.
Doesn't matter whether you have kids or not. Teachers, I love teachers.
Right.
They hold a special place in my heart. I have a lot of educators in my family because when you're growing up, you spend more time in school than actually you do at home.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you're mostly being molded by these educators, and they definitely have an influence on you. I don't know about in Texas, but in some states they have. It can be a federal charge,
right?
Because it's kind of like abuse of authority.
Yeah.
I know for police officers, it definitely is. But because of the influence that you have.
Yeah.
And these kids, they looking up to you.
Yeah. Are they saying that he molested or raped these girls, or what are they saying?
No. And like I said, I don't know if these things are true. This is what people have said. They said that they found the burner phone in his desk, that he had that he had lube and condoms in his desk. They're saying that he was paying the girls to watch him ejaculate, and sometimes paying them to jack him off. That he's had sex with multiple students. Somebody even claims that, I don't know how long ago this was, that he got their sister pregnant when she was in 7th grade. And it's so many stories out there, but right now they're investigating him just for the inappropriate communication.
Wow.
I don't know what the parents, and I went live about it. Was like, hey, look, if you have a child involved, somebody, talk to the
police.
Make sure you talk to their parents,
right.
a lawyer, and the police.
Exactly.
Because ultimately, there's protocol. There's things you have to do. Mm-hmm. And even though I know that social media brings awareness and lets everybody know what's going on, but if you want something done,
that's right.
You need to go to the police, especially when it comes to kids.
Yes.
And I have daughters.
Yeah.
You may not never see nothing that, if somebody would do something to my daughter, it probably won't make social media.
I'm with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. It probably won't make social media. Something else will make social media, but
it won't be that.
It won't be that. You'll find out after the fact, like, man, what happened to that guy? But I mean, but it's one of those things like you hear about all the time, not just with men, but with women. And the crazy thing about it is there is a double standard. Nobody really talks about it. When a man does it, he's the most disgusting man on the world.
Right.
But when a woman does it, they start making excuses.
That's right. And the boys are celebrated, actually.
She must have been going through something. It's they not look the same. It's not. A woman was just recently arrested because I forgot where it was at. I just seen Instagram earlier where she was having sex with a student. He was 16, and he threatened her. Give me $140 or I'm telling, and she did, and he told.
Oh, wow.
$140.
That's a lot of now and laters.
Yeah, right?
That's a lot of now and later. But it is a double standard, and you're right. And from the boys' point of view, if they're kids, they're like, man, you smashing that teacher. You know, it's a cool thing. But they're victims as well.
Yeah.
But that's how we raise our kids. We've got to communicate because they say 1 out of every 4 girls will be a victim of a sexual crime.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding that more men, there hasn't been a lot of statistics on this, but remember Tyler Perry and he
Terry
started
Crews.
the talk. Yes, Terry Crews. They're coming out, and I got a feeling that it's going to be even with boys. So we've got to watch our little boys and we've got to watch our little girls and have that open conversation.
And I've said that you know, are you checking on your sons too?
Yeah.
And the reason being because Terry Crews has gotten a lot of ridicule for coming out.
Yeah, yes, because they're like, yo, you're some big old dude.
Like he and
and
D.L. Hughley had a back and forth.
And size doesn't
silly.
matter. And that's the thing about it is that you get so much ridicule. So when they say women are afraid to speak up,
right?
You just imagine how a dude would be afraid to speak up because he gay.
Oh, he can't fight.
They whatever excuses they use to pick on you to judge you about what may have happened to you. And it's just not saying it's cool for women to come out, but it's definitely it hasn't been made cool for a young boy or a man to come out and say, "Hey, this happened to me. This was done to me."
And that's why it was important that Tyler Perry came out and Terry Crews came out because it needs to. They're kicking down that wall, you know, and kicking and changing that tone and that tune that people are using in order to justify sexually being a sexual predator. Yeah. Today, you guys, we talked a lot about some good stuff, but I know, didn't you have a question or something off Facebook you wanted to talk to us about?
Yeah. So we wanted to start a new segment, man. Kind of tap in. First of all, it was a dope interview you guys did today. Covered a lot of ground. I wanted to connect with a couple people on social media, some people I follow, kind of field some of these questions and just throw them directly to you guys and let you guys take off with them. So we're going to get right to it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a video that was circulating about a young girl. I believe she was working in McDonald's, Burger King, wherever. And a guy approached her, gave her a couple punches in the face, came across the counter. I saw that. It was Okay, so people are commenting about the men that worked there that didn't do a thing. Didn't stop this altercation.
Okay.
They some hoes.
So, well,
I don't. Go ahead.
Let's dig into it. I'm glad you said that, JBoi, because my homeboy Nate Shep, and I always follow Nate Shep on. He has some good commentary on Facebook. He posted a few days ago this, and I want to see what y'all think about it. My cold tough truth. Given the climate today, as it pertains to black men, I cannot wholeheartedly say that I would want my son to physically intervene in a situation where they see a woman being physically or verbally abused. What's y'all take on that?
So I'm gonna go first because I can speak firsthand on this, and I even commented on that post, which was a couple of days ago.
Thanks for that, AP.
So I went to prison. I did 3 years in prison behind a girl that I was in love with, who baby daddy had shot at me. Prior to this, he had been physically abusing her, and I understand they had a kid together, and that was her thing. Oh, we got a kid. So I intervened. Tried to call myself protecting her. I ended up going to prison. They told me I couldn't use self-defense because I was a felon, so I wouldn't even have a gun. And I told my lawyer, what I'm supposed to do, just let this dude kill me? He was like, basically, yeah.
What the fuck?
He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you're not supposed to have a gun. So, well, anyways, aside from that, this same girl, he went back to prison for shooting at her. She ended up having 2 more kids with him after I went to prison.
Wow.
And I'm in my car. My grandma's when I first went to jail, and she was like, "What's wrong? Why are you in jail?" And I told her. She said, "It's not your business to protect her." She said, "God is supposed to protect her." She was like, "You my grandson." She basically like, "What I'm gonna do? What if something happened to you?" And at the time I was like, "Man, I love this girl, whatever the case may be." But after that, I said, I would never. If it ain't my wife or my daughters, I will not me.
Yeah. What you thinking, V?
I think it's situational. If you're standing, I didn't see the video of the girl getting punched in McDonald's or whatever, but I mean, you ain't got to jack the dude up, but maybe pull the girl into a safe area or say, hey, man, this isn't the place or something like that. But it's situational. It's situational. That's what I think.
I mean, I definitely think it's situational, but I mean, the dude was a bitch that did it. First off, for striking her.
He was tripping.
Yeah.
Anyway, more importantly, pass that kid.
But I definitely think that I've been in I worked in a gentleman's club before. I worked there for quite a few years. So I've seen when guys try to attack, and I just feel if she was mouthing off and she was being real, disrespectful towards him, I'm not saying he had the right to hit her, but I definitely, like B said, I would definitely make sure she's safe.
Yeah.
Or at least, separate the guy. As guys, you're all standing around, and there's more that they could have been done.
Yeah,
I just feel, even if it's not, maybe I'm not saying they got to fight him, but I'm saying they should have definitely been able to pull him away. They should have definitely made sure she was safer. But he got a good 3 hits in on her.
He got real physical.
Was it quick?
I don't know if he hit her.
She was not on the retreat. She was definitely fighting back.
Forward, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he reached over the counter. He literally punched her.
And it was
times.
someone it seemed like she knew this dude.
No, this is a customer. She was at work.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was saying. It's situational. So she was innocent.
Yeah.
This dude's got a hot head, was a punk, and he reaches over the counter. At that point, step in and help that broad out. Don't let her get beat down. Well, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Well, that kind of goes back to what I said a moment ago, and I know we have to wrap up. But MLK, it's not the actions of the enemy. It's the silence of your friend that you're going to remember.
That's good.
Yeah.
Shout out Nathan Shepard for posting that.
Absolutely.
And apparently AP for answering on the post.
Yeah. All right. Another Conduit podcast.
I wouldn't mind talking real quick. If we have a few minutes, talk about the cipher.
How much time do we have?
Do we have a couple minutes?
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Okay.
So
not too hard on the participants.
The second guy was all right. But, so there's been a thing going around on social media about a San Antonio cipher.
Mm-hmm.
It made a little bit of noise as far as there's some people in the uproar. Some people didn't like it. Some people liked it. It was, I like it. You did say something about it's too.
I don't dislike it. I like it.
It's just too lyrical.
Yeah.
And so, is there a formula for what a cipher is supposed to be?
Most ciphers, for some strange reason, are lyrical.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if
is it because you're trying to look for the best person in the city to lyrically, you want to put your heavyweights,
right?
Well,
to represent your city.
That's a good question.
Let's put this in perspective. Does a rapper being lyrical make them a heavyweight? Because I think it has more to do with style and flow and just what you bring to the table. Because
you've already said it's time for a trap cipher,
not so much
lyricism.
I just happen to like trap music, but also I'll go back to, if you look at early Chris P.
Yeah.
The UTSA ciphers, like Chris P was rapping then, and then Chris P turned into Ape Life Chris P. I'm gonna say turned into, but those are two different Chris P's.
Yeah.
I like the Ape Life Chris P better, and he was rapping still, but it was just different. You know, like he would have been able to hold his weight in that cipher. It probably wouldn't have meshed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was on their shit then. But I just like different styles. I like different, charisma.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z, people hold Jay-Z at a certain level. But truth be told, Jay-Z be spitting, but he's not like King Los.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just the way he delivers. It's just his charisma. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I just feel about it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I want to be entertained. I hear a lot of, I like words. I love all that kind of stuff. But if it's too wordy and you ain't talking about nothing about chopping girls down all day, That's so boring to me. Like, come with it. If you're going to represent the city, come with something. Like, tell me something about yourself, about your style. City. And I like cleverness. I really like when they talk crap about somebody. I'm like, ooh, I like that kind of stuff.
You want it to be a focal point. Like what? Like you said, go at somebody.
Yeah, and entertain me.
Yeah, like you want to bring a aspect to it, not just showing lyrical wordplay. Yeah. Like, because you can do that on a regular track with them.
Exactly.
Like, but if you're on a cypher, you're at a different level. You're supposed to make your verse stand out more than XYZ.
Exactly.
And I feel that, and that's one of the things. Like, I always look forward to the BET cyphers because somebody usually is controversial. You know, like somebody's gonna say something.
They definitely better than the XXL cyphers.
Jesus Christ, yes. But I mean. So I've always looked forward to the BET ciphers because I'm always like, okay, who is it gonna be this year that's gonna make me remember them? And I followed a lot of careers based off of the BET ciphers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I've got introduced them through there, and I follow them, and it's always cool because there's also been artists that I was aware of well before that. I finally get to see them. You were talking about trying to bring a dude here, and before
that was recently on the cypher.
He was just on the cypher this past year and kind of dropped the ball on that one. You know what I'm saying? Like we
ain't got the money.
Yeah, we ain't had the money. And then when we finally had a plan to go at it, when we reached back out to him, he's like, well, he's about to be on the BET cypher, so that price tag just went up more. We
man, I ain't grandfathered in.
Yeah,
I ain't grandfathered in. But I think that we should encourage people to check out the cypher on YouTube. Yeah, the San Antonio cypher.
Is 6 hours. 5 hours.
5, I believe.
Yeah, it's the 5. First volume. There's 5 on that one. And there's several others. You know, the Beat did 2. JBoi did 1.
Yeah.
So, there's a few ciphers floating around.
You know what? Since we're here, JBoi, I did not like
that. You didn't like what?
JBoi.
I don't know if it was the Beat or something.
Well, see, I used to say, like, because it was like right after M had dropped the Detroit versus Everybody. Yeah. So I used the same beat. It was a beat produced by
the rapping was cool. Just something about it just didn't.
And that's one of the things that I had wanted to do. Like when we were doing the whole new Illuminati stuff and all that. I actually wanted to go back and redo it with a different set of artists. And I mean, I'm not saying I still won't do that, but to me it was cool because I actually got to get a lot of the artists you're not going to see together.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get So with Tony Stacks and Lil Pooh and IQ.
Somebody else was on it.
It was Taiwan. Taiwan don't even rap no more, so he came out. He did it for me. Spark the Beast. That's Gabe Logue. There was people Warner. From all over. Warner.
I said that's why I would say Warner, not Warner. I'm sorry.
Warner was on there. There was Chelsea G. She sung the hook. So there was
sing it.
Yeah, how did that go? No, well, you never know. We might have a Conduit one.
Yeah, exactly. That would definitely.
Oh, our boy, so he working on the cypher. Views from the Tone. Shout out to
J. Ross.
Yeah,
J. Ross talking about it.
Yeah. I'm down to link up and do it. I won't be spitting. Hell no. Although
I like to see that. IQ will though.
Yeah. He's a must. He has to be.
Well, I can't wait for us to do another show. I think this was so much fun. I enjoyed myself.
Always. And next time, we'll get it.
I do want to say something though in closing in reference to the Sam Houston thing. Really just in life. We need to educate each other, but specifically our kids. Talk to them about some of these tough, hard issues. Because if we don't, then they can honestly say they don't know.
Exactly.
And they may find themselves in a situation and, everybody's not going to have the same regard for our kids that we may have or people close to us have.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, talk to your kids, talk to your nieces and nephews, especially if they're of a certain age, you can give them that hard truth without sugarcoating it or babying.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I agree totally. Well, it was definitely fun. Till next time.
Yeah.
Conduit Podcast signing out.
It's your boy.